I should note, though, before we continue, I talk with my hands a lot, so you might see this bad boy pop up every so often, and I'm not even sorry about it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another movie of the week. This week, it is 2017's Wind River, written and directed by Taylor Sheridan. Wind River, I think, is a movie that went severely overlooked when it came out, especially in terms of award season. I feel like it should have gotten a lot of attention. Unfortunately, it was produced by Miramax and the Weinstein Company during the whole scandal, and that's why it kind of got, pushed under the rug. With that being said, though, this is a beautifully made film by Taylor Sheridan, who wrote Hell or High Water the year before. He didn't direct it, but it's another movie I really enjoy. Wind River is a movie that brought attention to something that I wasn't aware of, and it is the unbelievable statistical imbalances in the Native American community when it comes to crime. Apparently in the United States, things that happen on Native American reservations are just up to them, unless it's something major, but then there's moments in the movie that show how that can sort of fall through the cracks. The story of this movie is about a girl who is raped and murdered, a Native American woman who's raped and murdered on a reservation. And, however, her cause of death wasn't the rape and murder. She ran away during the snow, and she died of frostbite. So since the medical examiner must put frostbite on the death certificate, they can't get backup to solve the case. And there's, in a small town with maybe 5 or 6 real police officers, how the hell are they going to solve that crime? Well, luckily, Elizabeth Olsen's FBI character really wants to figure it out. She's someone who in the movie you can tell is yearning for action, and at first really wants to follow the rules. She's young. Right when she gets there, you can tell her style of living is very different than the sort of the outlaw Wild West in the snow that's going on over there. And our central character, though, is Jeremy Renner's Hunter character. Jeremy Renner gives such an amazing performance in this film, and not only that, but this movie does a great job of showing you what type of character he is, the compassion that's in his heart.
Because I got some good news, and I got some bad news. Bad news is you're never going to be the same. You're never going to be whole. Not ever again. You lost your daughter, and nothing's ever going to replace that. Now, the good news is, as soon as you accept that, and you let yourself suffer, you allow yourself to visit her in your mind. You'll remember all the love she gave, all the joy she knew. Point is, Martin, you can't steer from the pain. If you do, you'll rob yourself. You'll rob yourself of every memory of her.
You find out right away that he is divorced from somebody, but when he visits her, he still makes sure she's okay and asks, if she's going to drive safely on the roads. And something like that kind of lets the audience know right away, hey, he's a very compassionate human being. He's a nice person. And, later, it's implied in this film, something has happened to his daughter as well in the past. And you don't find out till way later in the film what actually happened, which I like. They kind of let the audience think about it. They don't just kind of throw exposition at you right away. And that's also a testament to how good of a script this is. I mean, with maybe a line or two of dialogue that's a bit off, this script is damn near perfect. And this film is about an hour and 45 minutes, and it's the perfect length. It never feels too long, it never feels too short. It feels like the perfect amount of time that needed to be spent making this movie. And Taylor Sheridan really does a great job with the pace. And another thing that I'll say about this film is the editing is incredible. There's a scene towards the end of the movie where a character is going to knock on a door, and then from the inside you hear the knock, but when the character opens it, turns out it was a flashback within an editing trick. And it was incredible, and it leads up to a moment of tension that is so unbelievable at the end of the film. It's one of the most tense movie scenes I've ever seen. And I was really blown away the first time I saw it, and I'm really disappointed that not many people have watched it, and that's kind of why we wanted to make it the movie of the week, so more people would go out and watch it, hopefully. The Native American performers in this movie also do an incredible job. Everyone who is Native American in the film is played by a Native American actor or actress, and it really just gives this sense of authenticity to it, and you really feel for these characters and what's going on. And you see that they don't really like outsiders very much. It takes them a while to get used to Elizabeth Olsen's character. They really love Jeremy Renner. And it kind of goes to show, again, the amazing writing and showing what a compassionate human being he is, the way others react to his presence and, his requests. And something else that I think that this movie does brilliantly is every scene is for a purpose. There's no wasted screen time in this movie. There's a brilliant scene where Elizabeth Olsen's character goes to a druggy trailer, and they're going to go in and ask questions if something goes wrong and a gunfight happens. Well, initially up to that point you're kind of iffy about her character. You're like, she's kind of annoying. She was just in Vegas. Like I have a feeling she's going to be useless out here. But then you see her very technically, even though she's been wounded with pepper spray, go in, take out this druggie, and that scene lets everybody in the audience know that she's tactical, she's there to complete the mission, and she has a purpose. And, her relationship with Jeremy Renner after that seems very hand in hand. One knows the land and how to hunt, and one knows what to do in tactical situations. And the way that their, platonic relationship builds throughout the film, you buy it, because you've had established scenes that shows each of these characters and what they are. And the fact that this film pulled all of that off in an hour and 45 minutes is incredible. And in terms of the villains in this movie, when you sort of find out who's behind everything, this film does a really great job, because it knew this story needed to focus on the two main characters of Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen, but it also knows that there has to be a bad guy. And while the bad guy, you don't know who it is and you never really see them until the end of the film, the horrific scene that takes place that shows what an evil person this is makes you hate the guy so much that within the last 15 minutes of the film, you're rooting for him to be taken out. Even though you haven't had a film built up around this villain, as soon as you see him on screen and you see those characters interact with him, you want him dead. You want them to take this guy out. And, seeing that, and is also kind of inspiring as someone who makes films to know that, villains are tricky. And the way that this film was able to create a villain within the third act of a film, rather than flesh them out. And, usually I love when villains are fleshed out throughout the story, but in this particular case, Taylor Sheridan realized that that's unnecessary and that they just need that emotional backing of the audience and not necessarily the understanding of who the character was as a person. And knowing when to do that and when not to do that, and with the characters, was insane and genius. This film is also based on a true story, and it's incredibly, incredibly sad. And there's a statistic that comes up at the end credits, or there's a line that comes up at the end credits that I'm actually going to show you right now, and it's really devastating. And I highly encourage everyone to watch this movie. We didn't get any questions this time, but I highly, highly encourage everyone to watch Wind River. It is streaming on Netflix and maybe other places, I don't know. But this film is incredible, and I'm really happy that I got to watch it again. Well, that's all for this week's Movie of the Week. I'm Dalton Burdett, and I hope to see you soon.